Hello everybody and welcome back to another video for the day. We're going back in the r/AmITheDevil because, yeah, sometimes we really do got some horrible human beings in this world. So yeah, here's the stories of them. So, you know, if you guys would love to be absolutely amazing, show your support and see more videos like this one in the near future, be sure to hit the like button, leave a comment down below to start up them wholesome discussions, because that engagement really does help out the videos in the algorithm. And if you guys have not already, subscribe to the channel and turn on them notifications. Also, double check that YouTube hasn't unsubscribed you again, because getting to 70,000 subscribers was fun the first time. Doing it again, probably not going to be as much fun. Am I the a-hole for trying to bring my boyfriend's girl best friend back to reality? Hi everyone, I'm posting this here because I'm at my wit's ends. For obvious reasons, all names are fake. I, 25F, have been dating my boyfriend, James, 25M, for 2 years. James has a girl best friend, Christian, 24F. They have known each other since they were kids, as they were neighbors growing up. Our friend group involves Kristen, but I cannot stand her, and it really bothers me that no one understands. The gist of it is that Kristen thinks that she is so special when she's not. She is a professional dancer and has done some gigs, and because of that, she thinks that she is the shit, and that she is making some special contribution to society. For reference, I am a teacher. Teachers are undervalued and underpaid. James is a medical assistant and also doesn't get paid well. Both of us and many other people in our field and in other careers are making important advancements to the world, in education and in medicine. And yet, we are shat on and get paid pennies. Kristen, on the other hand, brags about wasting her education by spending thousands of dollars in an arts major at NYU, prances around on stage in a skimpy outfit, and everyone worships her like some god. It's ridiculous. To be honest, she's not even that good. At one point, I asked her what she is going to do 20 years down the line when she can't move as well anymore, to which she told me that she is considering options again. This girl thinks that she's hot shit. She is not very smart. Our friend group was out for dinner one time, and I quizzed her on some of the stuff that I taught my students. She couldn't answer a lot of the questions. It was sad. I tried to see if James could test her on medical terminology, but she didn't care. My point is that there are millions of educated, hardworking people who deserve to be admired more than a dancer who probably didn't pay attention to school. And of course, Kristen is a pick-me, in the sense that she has brought up how she could never wear acrylic nails, and she thinks that she is so quirky and unique, and preferring hot rollers for her hair instead of a curling iron, among other things. Now to why I'm writing this post. The other day, our friends were hanging out, and at some point, Kristen left the room with her phone. She came back later announcing that she might be performing in a New York City show around the holiday season. She wanted to let everyone know about this very world-changing achievement, and I could see that her ego was getting to her. I was done. I said to her, "That's great, Christian, but 10 years down the line, no one's gonna care. There are plenty of people who deserve more praise than you, because they're doing something meaningful in this world. You're not special." It got awkward after that, but ultimately, I just think that I finally brought her down to reality. However, many of our friends are angry that I called her out, including James. So, am I the a-hole? Doy. I guess, you know, quizzing the person who's not currently working in the field about what you taught your kids that day, and meanwhile your husband asking them about medical information. Alright, here's the thing, ma'am. Newsflash. How do you figure out the YouTube algorithm and how do you grow on YouTube? How about that? Oh, you don't know that? You must not be knowing all this stuff, and you must not be a good human being. You had the wrong career page. Look, this just gave me a flashback to the show Are You Smarter Than a Fifth Grader? There's a reason that 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 show exists, and it's to highlight that we forget a lot of the crap that we happen to have learned during grade school, because the stuff that's non-necessary is the stuff that we wind up forgetting. And yeah, so what? Somebody decides to change their career path down the road. Hey, cool. That's something that they're deciding to do because they want to do it. What they're doing right now, that's also what they decide to do, what they want to do it. You being a POS is your own decision to be mean to other people. That is not something that other people are forcing you to do. Also, the whole New York thing, that actually kind of sounds like it could be some really good stuff, you know, because there's this little thing on New York called frickin' Broadway or something of the sort. You know, it's not like a lot of people have actually gone on to have really successful careers for such of a thing. People out here really having a bit of a skill issue remembering nice or not at all, aren't they? Am I the a-hole for checking my adult daughter's phone? Yes, because that's her own privacy, but there's more story than just the title. Last night, I needed to put in an important date on my calendar, and to make sure that I got the date right, I went to check some messages I had with my oldest daughter, as we had been talking about it a while back. However, my son was watching videos on my phone, and so I asked my daughter for her phone. When I did, she asked why, which made me suspicious. After all, why would she need to know unless she was actively hiding something from me? I found the date and went through more of her messages just to make sure that she wasn't anything going on. All this time, she was pacing back and forth, trying to get the phone back from me. She asks why I need her phone again, and I tell her, to which she replies that I could have just asked her directly. The problem is, she has a habit of forgetting things like dates, and I didn't want to risk either of us getting it wrong. She also tends to keep secrets from me, especially when it is something serious. This is the only way that I can know for sure that she is not trying to hook up with some complete stranger online, or buy substances like that. It turns out that she had a Tumblr account without me knowing. Despite the fact for years I've made it a rule that all of my kids tell me their social medias so that I can check on them. She says that she just uses it to post her artwork. Everything seemed to be fine, though. She says that I'm freaking out over nothing, and that I shouldn't have gone through her phone. But I am the one paying for it, so is it really hers? I will say that she is an adult, and should be given a little more leeway than my other kids. I am worried that she hates me for it, though, since we have arguments about things like trust all of the time. I don't want my children to stop talking to their own mom over me checking on them. Yeah, well, you're doing a great job dodging that last one. I can guarantee you, the second they are able to, they will do what they can to make it so that they have as much privacy away from you as freaking possible. I can guarantee you that. Even if you own their phone, your child should have some sort of privacy and sense of privacy, especially since they're a full-fledged adult. And I can tell you this right now, the more you do this, the better they're going to get at hiding stuff from you. Am I the a-hole for telling my friend that she was selfish for making her own plans on my wedding day? My friend and I are both 27F and have been friends since we were 8 years old. I got married this past April, and she was a bridesmaid in the wedding. About 9 months out from the wedding, I learned from my MOH that because this friend doesn't want to pay for a hotel room, she instead had texted the entire bridal party, excluding me and the groom, about booking a large Airbnb together with their significant others. MOH said that the group text indicated that this Airbnb was for the bridal party, but not the bride and groom. This Airbnb plan ultimately fizzled out, but I texted my friend/bridesmaid to just talk with her about how it bothered me that she was trying to make new plans for my wedding party for my wedding weekend without saying anything to me or my now husband. She was very defensive and told me that it wasn't a big deal and dismissed my feelings entirely. The conversation ended and we just didn't have a reason to talk for a while. Fast forward to my bachelorette weekend and lots of wine. And she made some comment about the lodging for my wedding weekend, and I snapped at her in front of everyone. I told her that she was selfish and only cared about what she wanted. Later that night, we tried to hash things out, and I apologized for snapping at her, but tried to explain that I did think that she was selfish for trying to change my wedding plans without telling me, and then also dismissing me when I tried to talk with her about it. I told her it hurt my feelings, that as a friend of almost 20 years, she could care so little about my intentions and opinions of my wedding. When I said that she wouldn't appreciate it if the roles were reversed, she told me that she really wouldn't entertain that hypocritical because she wasn't seeing anyone. We smoothed over the conversation that evening, but I'm totally not sure that either of us saw the other person's side. Then, leading up to the wedding, everything seemed normal again with us, and she was enthusiastic about the wedding and left me with a thoughtful card on the day of. Now that the wedding was over, she doesn't speak to me. She didn't tell me that she was coming to town multiple times, or that she's moving to the area that I live in. Come to find out that she told another friend that she was just getting through the wedding, and had planned to stop talking to me after. Am I the a-hole for telling her that was selfish? Yes, definitely. Not only just because it's on this subreddit, but because it actually is you being a dong. Airbnbs can be cheaper and can accommodate more people, with one of the only trade-offs between a hotel and an Airbnb is being distance related to whatever the thing is you're going to. But if somebody has a car and can carpool, well, that pretty much solves that problem. But no, let me guess, you're also the type of wonderful bride that would say, "My wedding," regardless of the fact that the groom is also a part of it. And also, you gotta love the part where you try to justify, oh yes, it was the wine talking. No, if that's the way you act when you are not sober, I can guarantee you nobody's gonna want to be around you if you're holding a wine glass, ma'am. Am I the a-hole for calling out a guest who wore white to my friend's wedding? Place your bets, people. Is this gonna be immature and stupid? Because I'm saying yeah. This happened a week ago. I, 28F, and another girl, M, were invited to a friend's wedding. We were good friends with the bride in college and stayed in touch afterwards. The wedding was amazing. However, there was this one moment I had with another guest that kept me feeling guilty, even when I was typing this. There was this girl who sat at the bride's family's table and wore a bright white dress. I thought it was weird considering guests should not wear white or off-white colors to a wedding. M had some comments saying that it was unacceptable, rude, and inconsiderate because she's never been to a wedding where guests wear white and then casually walk around, chat with people, and participate in activities. I agreed with her because it was unfamiliar to me too. I suggested that we bring it up with the bride and when we have a chance. However, we couldn't get a hold of her alone for the rest of the night, as she was busy going around to the tables and doing activities. I don't know if it was my instinct to protect my friend or because of my ego, but I decided to take matters into my own hands and walked up, with M after me, to the girl when she sat down at her table. I pointed out that she was being rude for wearing white, and for following the bride around while showing off her dress to all of the guests. M supported me by agreeing to saying that the bride must feel extremely bothered that her guest was trying to ruin her special day. The girl seemed shocked for a bit and said sorry, she didn't know, and the bride didn't say anything, so she thought it was okay. I told her that the bride was kind enough to let her stay, cause if I were the bride, she would have been kicked out right when she walked through the door in that dress. M said a few more things when we left. I thought my action was justified and felt kind of proud for sticking up for a friend. For the rest of the night, I sometimes looked over to the girls' table and noticed that she didn't leave her seat until after the wedding was over, and she left with the bride. I contacted the bride a few days after the wedding to thank her for the wedding gifts and for inviting me to her wedding. Then I brought up the girl and asked if my friend was bothered by her at all. To my surprise, she didn't, and even felt happy that the girl did. She clarified that the girl was her niece who flew from another country to attend her wedding, and that the dress she was wearing was a gift from my friend herself. The niece even sewed in 2 swans to symbolize my friend and her husband loving each other eternally. That's why she was showing off the dress to all the other guests. My friend also told me that the guests not allowed to wear white to a wedding is never a thing where she came from. So people do it all the time. I just feel so guilty and embarrassed after knowing this, because the girl looked extremely down after my confrontation. I thought I did the right thing, but now I just feel like an a-hole. So Reddit, am I the a-hole? I don't know. Do you kind of feel like it? Then yeah, edit. I get it, I'm the a-hole. But in my defense, the girl's dress was very pretty, like a fairy gown type of dress, with a lot of extravagant details, and the bride's dress didn't have. I didn't know that was my friend's gift to her before calling her out, and I get that I'm ignorant culture-wise, and I will try to think better before acting on my thoughts next time. Thank you for all of the criticism. Alright, so let me get this straight. You embarrassed somebody at a wedding, and you're wondering, oh, how could I kind of feel bad about this. Let me still ask on the internet if this is something that is actually bad. Am I the a-hole for letting my son get a pet snake, even though my stepsister... Am I the a-hole for letting my son get a pet snake, even though my stepdaughter is deathly afraid of them? I, 41F, have been married to my husband, 42M, for a little over 2 years now. This is the second marriage for both of us, and I have 2 children, 16F and 14M, and he has one, 11F. My son loves reptiles, and had been begging me to let him get a snake for months now. He wanted a ball python. I vetoed that, but I did some research and told him that I would allow him to have a pet corn snake. Since every source told me that they are docile and easy to care for. Yeah, fun fact, ball pythons are too. I bought and helped them sup the terrarium, and then we got the snake. I did all of this without talking to my husband first. I admit I was going on the better to ask for forgiveness than permission model, but at the same time, it's my house too, it was my money, and it was my son's room. But here's the thing, my daughter is deathly afraid of snakes. She freaks out if she sees so much as a small garter snake out in the yard. I kind of blame my husband and his ex-wife for this. There are a lot of copperheads in our area, as well as some rattlesnakes. But bites are rare, and deaths from snake bites are basically unheard of. But my husband and his ex taught their daughter that snakes are scary and deadly and must be avoided. I get it, but they overdid it. Anyways, my husband is unhappy with me and wants me to get rid of the snake. But I won't. There is no reason why my stepdaughter will ever even have to look at the animal if she doesn't want to. But my husband says that just knowing that there is a snake in the house is setting his daughter on edge. He admits that her fears are irrational, but says that she can't help it, and that her mental health and comfort should be considered. I, however, think that she needs to learn to deal with her fears, and that my son should be able to have a reasonable pet that he wants. It's not like his corn snake poses any actual threat to his stepsister. Am I the a-hole? You could tell them that they're never going to have to see it for sure, but that's not going to solve everything. That's not going to make things any bit better, because it's still going to mess with their head knowing that, hey, this thing that I'm afraid of is here. And way to go saying the whole, my house, I can do whatever I want, even though both you and your husband are the ones that both own the house. It took a severely long time to warm my family up to the idea of having a ball python myself. By the way, ball pythons and hognoses I've seen are the best starter snakes for anybody wanting to know. For some reason, that came out of my mouth. And my family hardly ever sees the snake, but yeah, I had to basically warm them up to the idea that, yeah, I wanted to get a snake. And I had to ask permission. If one of them said no, then yeah, I probably would not have the snake that I have. I had to get permissions from both parties of the house. But with that, that is going to have to be with the video. If you guys would love to be absolutely amazing, show your support, and see more videos like this one in the near future, be sure to hit that like button, leave a comment down below to start up them wholesome internet discussions, and if you guys have not already, subscribe to the channel and turn on the notifications. I know that this one was a bit of a shorter video for the Am I the Devil's playlist, but I hope you guys enjoyed it all the same. Hope to see you guys in the next one. Love yous. Bye bye.